Some of the stuff you don't see in these Mustang videos is fighting with these clips for, I don't know, I mean, I got 20 minutes invested into this clip right now. I'm doing all I can not to break it. It's ridiculous, but you got to take the time, you know? And it's just another reminder of how, you know, how long this is actually going to take if I want to do it right and take my time and try to have some patience, which is something that I definitely lack. So I'm sure you guys will get a kick out of this this channel if I do decide to go that route. Of course, I found some of these broken. Sorry about the shaking. I need to get a cheap gyro. I use these Nuo tabs, spelled N-E-U-T-A-B, 4K cameras that I picked up on eBay a while back. I've got 2 sets of them, or a set of 2. So yeah, but this whole console is going to get replaced anyway, and I'll go with the cup holder one. So yeah, that's what a pain in the ass, man. There's got to be an easier way to get these clips out without busting them, but
Scary dad.
broke it.
He started taking antidepressants when I was in college. Ray of sunshine. So weird. Where he's like, "How are you?"
At least I didn't rip the whole thing off. But man, everything's just so, I can't tell if it's the fact that it's never been a pot, but there's no way this has never been a pot. No way. There's no way I'm the first person to take this clip out. Well, you really can't even see where it broke, but it did break. I'm so old, I remember lighting cigarettes with these. Where do you put everything? I mean, this is going to be difficult. I'm your average guy, right? I mean, aside from the fifth scales and, you know, I don't know. The rest of the stuff is just typical stuff. Aside from the RC stuff, the rest of this stuff is typical stuff you'd have in your garage. Now, this is a Florida 2-bay garage, which really, in comparison to the garages I came to know up north, is about 3 to 5 feet smaller. But it is a 2-bay garage with a single, you know, 2-bay door. So, I mean, you really just, there's not much room in here, man. Thankfully, my washer and dryer is recessed, and my water heater is, I mean, I've never even seen one of those until I bought this house. Yeah, so I've done my best to try to organize this garage so that I can do this. I don't know where I'm going to put all this interior stuff. I really don't. And I have to make sure that I somehow keep tabs on all these screws, and you know what I mean? So yeah, that ought to be interesting along the way. And I mean, guys, I've done this AOD swap before. Did it in my driveway. And one I did in a parking lot, basically. So I don't know what I'm worried about, but I guess this particular car I want to come apart right, and I want it to go back together right. And it's, you know, this is the first time I'm actually tearing into it. I don't know it. I mean, I haven't even driven it, but around the block a couple times before I bought it. So I'm also learning about it as I go, you know, as I take stuff out, seeing what's what and what's cracked, what's broken, what's this, what's that, because, you know, you guys know you're going to find that stuff in there somewhere. Just wanted to add that today is Saturday, October 9th. And that is this is the first day that I have turned a wrench on this car. It's sat in my garage now for, well, since July, and I've done nothing. I haven't cleaned it, I mean, I sat in it a couple times, and you know, when you sit in them, you just kind of get that feeling, man. And it's been too long for me, man. It's been way too long. So those of you guys that are out there driving your Fox, and you know, it's an everyday thing now, think back to when you wanted it so bad, you could almost feel it, man. You could hear second gear, you could feel that torque, you know. And that's what I'm looking forward to again, man. I miss it. Turning heads, making noise, I'm out the window, definitely putting a system in this thing. Alright, seats out. I was nice to see things like this on all 4 corners of that seat. No issues down there. This thing, by the way, I've been buying tools in preparation of you know, doing this. I mean, I've never owned one of these things. This thing is absolutely great. Alright, console's out, radio's out. This was a nice thing to see. You don't see that too often, huh? The original wire and harness. I honestly thought they threw the Ford radio in there just as a, you know. But no, that's the original harness. And it is definitely not messed with. And again, if anybody knows what these are, an orange and black wire. It's pretty significant as far as I'm concerned, that heat there. And these obviously aren't factory Ford connectors. I never had that cool tunnel hump piece. I always just kind of, you know, mended the original 5-speed one to the, you know, to the actual transmission hump. And, you know, just kind of tap it and massage it so that it fits nice and the rubber gets a good seal. And that's kind of how I always left it. So, I don't know. I guess maybe this time around I'll get that hump that LMR is selling. It sucks because I wanted to go ahead and buy that kit that they have for $3,300 and just have, you know, that would save time and nickel and diamond and putting together each piece. And, of course, it came with a 5-speed, but it didn't come with that 5-speed, and I wanted that particular one. I've had too many Foxbodies, and never have I had a 5-speed that was truly reliable. They always had issues, those T5s, and I did make the mistake of over-clutching one of them. I know Brutal talks about that, and it was kind of like a you know, an aha moment when he went over that in one of his videos. So I ended up, back in the day, I put a Zoom dual friction Kevlar. You know, it was ridiculous. The clutch pedal was so heavy that my leg would end up shaking in traffic. So, yeah, I ended up smoking that transmission. And every other one I had, I always had an issue. Second gear, couldn't go in hard. You know, you have to kind of massage it in. Third gear, same deal. Always a pain in the ass. Didn't want to shift at high RPM. So I didn't want to deal with the T5 and wanted to go with the TKX, but the fact that I couldn't buy everything as a kit, I have to actually go through my cart one more time tonight, make sure I have everything I need, and then just click pay now and get that over with. But I'll probably get that hump piece. It doesn't seem like it takes too much to put it on, and it probably does make the job a little bit more tighter. So yeah, we'll see about that. The dash had never been apart, so at least the gauge cluster, I don't think had ever been removed, so there's no play in this wire harness, and it didn't want to give me any room to get my hand in there and get it unclipped. So I did the speedo side first, and I was able to get the this side undone. Found out the speaker grill busted over there, but whatever. So yeah, I didn't drop the column yet. I'm going to go ahead and get cleaned up because I've already made quite a mess here, and I try to keep things as organized as possible because I don't want this, you know, I know how overwhelming this can get, and I'm already, like, I mean, I'm like backed into a corner already. Alright boys, it's closing time. I decided to put everything away fairly early. I didn't end up dropping the column. I'm at that stage where I just need to unbolt the 4 bolts to drop it down, and that's that. So it's gonna have to be done in little bites, man, and it's such a small space, you know. Yeah, it gets overwhelming. Before you know it, you got tools everywhere, parts everywhere. I decided to yes, let me let you take a quick peek where she's at. I decided to make use of the hatchback to store everything, and I bagged up parts in a, except the center console. I couldn't get that back there, and of course that seat and the box for the Tremec. I mean, it's overwhelming real quick, but you'll see hood pop column mount, you know, just driver's seat. Thankfully, I save a lot of these RC car Ziploc baggies. Center console, gauge cluster. So yeah, I'm going to try to do my best to continue doing this. Threw a quick coat of flat black on these pieces here, the hood prop mount and the center crossbar that runs down below the column. And I'll try to do that kind of stuff along the way because, you know, you'll see it's just rusty and nasty to touch, nasty to handle, and of course it looks better. So if I got, you know, an extra 5 minutes here and there, I'm going to take time to do little stuff like that. For example, cleaning everything really well, that will definitely get done. So yeah, this is where we're at. I can barely walk in here. It's like a damn maze. I was able to at least allot myself this much room. But when the door's down, I'm going to have to pull the car forward more because I have no room to walk behind the car. I have to kind of squeeze, and walking back and forth is a pain in the ass. So that's where I'm at for tonight. And I guess I'll pick up maybe tomorrow. I don't know. This is probably going to be... See, I have my daughter every other week for a week. And the weekends I have her, there's no chance I'll be touching this. So it's going to have to be done, like I said, in small bites. I'm going to have to make sure I don't, you know, bite off more than I can chew in one day and leave this whole place a mess because I'm exhausted. Because coming back out to a mess and everything unorganized is definitely going to be a bad thing for this whole process. Especially when it gets to the point of, like, the engine, which I'm still, you know, torn on what I want to do. But I do have places where I can put these bikes and this Power Wheels and some of that other stuff. I have a sun porch and I can put some of that stuff back there. Of course, I can also just put it in the house, but I'd rather not do that. But we'll make it happen, that's for sure. I'm determined and I will make it happen. So stay tuned, and until next time, I'm out.